against other men. And guess what? The Lord has a way of pretty much revealing what you feel inside by turning up your spirit, so that you can pretty much come out with your nonsense and your garbage. So you think you're hiding and seeking, you ain't hiding shit, man. And there's certain brothers like myself that's been in the truth 10 to 15 years. And we've seen certain things, man, come out. We've seen certain men hide what's within their hearts, and they came out with it eventually, man. And it all came out that these niggas was full of shit, or they had a problem that they couldn't squash.
I've got a precept. I'm not sure if I've brought this out yet already. Matthew 15 and 11.
Hey, brother, it doesn't matter if you brought it out already. Let's read it again. If the Spirit wants you to bring it out again, you bring it out again.
All right, come on. Matthew 15 verse 11. It's not that which goeth into the mouth that defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth that defileth the man.
That's what happens, man. That's what happens. So, I mean, if you thinking a certain thought in your mind, man, it's going to come out. Point blank in the story. Okay, if you talking shit about the next man and this man and that man, and what makes it even worse, you ain't even giving names of who these men are that you're seeing go off. So when you're an individual that's like that, what you're really showing is you got some fucking mental problems, man. Your ass is mental because you seeing certain things, but you don't want to give it away. Or maybe you don't want to give it away because maybe you're going to offend high brothers in high positions. And that's what you don't want to do. So you don't want that to come out. So you rather don't even say anything because you don't want to look like an ass. Go on, brother.
I was going to say, doesn't the scripture say, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay? So how can you be flipping, oh, I've seen this, but I'm not going to say it. That's not being sincere in your speech. You're supposed to be straightforward and just come out with it, man.
But see, if you don't want to be, but see, this is what I'm saying. Guys that don't want to be straightforward because they know they're going to be pretty much crossing the line of what they're about to come out with, certain dudes. So they just hold it in and they don't really want to talk about it because it's going to make them look like a bunch of jackasses. Go on, brother.
That's all I had on that, but I can go back to Ephesians. No, hang on a minute. Let me go for this. This is 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 3. 11 verse 1. So be ye followers of me, even as I am a follower of Hamashiach.
Right.
And it says, now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them unto you. And I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach.
Right.
So that's the whole point. We're all supposed to be
What you doing, man?
followers of Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
Not followers of our own vain, what do you call it, being self-willed.
The vibration.
Yeah. So we're supposed to be followers of Yahweh Shai. And what did Yahweh Shai say? We're supposed to love our brothers, man. He that hateth his brother is a murderer. Yeah. And I've got another one. Let me get that while you keep talking.
And you said you was reading about the ordinance. That's an order. The order is just to be brotherly. That's one of the best things you could do in this truth is just be a brother, man. Okay? Just be a brother because we all we got. We all we got, man.
That's right.
And there's nothing more important than the brotherhood. Going on. Sorry.
No, I was going to say that's the point. We are all we've got, man. Because the whole world's against us. This is a small sanctuary. So why are you going to come up in a small sanctuary and try and sow discord? Yeah. That make no sense, man. Let me just get this one. I'm just looking for it. Right, I've got this one now. Right, John 13, I've got two for you. John 13 verse, there's more. I've got to go for these, man, this is good. Alright, so this is John. 1 John 2 and 8. Again, a new commandment I write unto you, which thing is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past and the true light now shineth. Yeah. He saith he is in light, so he that saith that he is in the light and hateth his brother is in darkness even until now.
That's what I was saying before. See, when a guy acts a certain way and he projects a certain way, the way that the elect are projecting, but they have a different alternative, and they looking at brothers a certain way, they were still in the world. They were never really in the truth. They thought that they were in the truth, probably themselves. But they were always in the world. They were always in that dark state.
Yep.
Going on.
He that loveth his brother abideth in the light, and there is none occasion in him for stumbling.
Yeah, so whosoever loveth his brother abideth in the light. What is the light? The light is his truth. So it's not about what you're looking like. It's not about what you say and you walking a good walk. It's about what's inside. How do you feel about where you're at? How do you feel about administering this gospel? How do you feel about your brothers that you surround yourself with? What's that like? That's what the Lord is looking at, to confirm if you're his men or not, which the Lord already knows who his men is and who ain't his men. Go on, brother.
1 John 2:11. But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes.
That's it. Because the darkness have blinded his eyes. And that's what happened. I'm not going to mention his name, but I don't have to. This is silly. The reason why I'm talking about this situation, because first and foremost, the Spirit got me to talk about this. That's first things first. But I want to just make this point, and I want to make this point quite clear. This particular brother was pretty much led through his darkness. Okay? He really didn't have the light, and that dark. He had a little bit of the light. He was looking at the little bit of the light, but he was more gauging towards darkness. And when you look at something and you focus on something, which the word focus means fuego, which is the Latin word for fuego, which means fire. So when you're hot and focused, when you're hot and staring at something, right, you're gonna get more of what you look at. That's just life. So if you're staring more at the darkness, the bad side of things, that's what your reality is going to be. Your reality is what you focus on. That's it. So let's read this one more time.
Come on. So this is
And that's why in the book of Proverbs it also says that a man is what he think of himself to be. So if you have certain thoughts in your mind towards something or a brother, and you keep repeating those same thoughts in your mind, which ain't even there, it becomes real. It becomes a reality. It manifests itself. And you swear it out that what you're saying is absolute truth, but it's not. It's just something that you only see in your own mind. And it happens all the time to the best of us. And that's just Satan that comes in there and fucks with you even more because you're focusing on the wrong thing. And that's what Satan likes too. Satan likes when you focus on your insecurities. Like the brother Rakal Makapash said, the elder. Shalom to the brother. You know what I'm saying? So he even said that, and I was watching this video. Because Satan, he does it to the best of us, man. Like, we all have insecurities in us. And what we tend to do at times, we look at it, focus on it because it's affecting us. And that's how Satan gets the best of us. And the more we focus on it, the more we get more insecure. But when we step outside of looking at those insecurities and we look at what's really going on, what's really correct, then we move in the correct fashion. We start to think correctly. Okay?
May I say something to add to
Please.
that? That's a good point, because basically you can't entertain demons.
Yeah.
If you entertain demons, that only encourages them and gives them more space to work with you.
Yeah.
And a good analogy is this. You know, in them old school vampire films, they used to say there's these rules about vampires where the vampire can't come in your house unless you invite it in. Well, it's the same with the demon.
Yeah.
If you're there and the demon's pouring something in you, like no, blah, 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 and you entertain that, you're inviting the demon into to manifest itself further inside you, to the point where it's going to choke out your spirit, and the demon's just going to be ruling your vessel, man. So I've got the precept you call for again. This is John 2:11, and it says, "But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth."
And knoweth not whither he goeth. Why? Because he's so focused on the darkness, hating his brother. Go on.
Because that darkness have blinded his eyes.
Because his darkness have blinded his eyes. And that's what I was saying. If you focus on the darkness, in other words, hating your brother, which is what we're reading into, then more of that darkness is going to pursue you, man. And you're not going to see, you're going to be focused on the darkness so much that the light is right there, but you're not going to know that the light is right there, looking at you. So that's why we have to be very careful in how we walk, and the thing that we can control to the best of our ability, because we can't control 100% of this flesh. Sometimes this flesh does things without us being aware of it in some cases. You know what I'm saying? Or whether we are aware of it, because we're not perfect. We're going to go off. As Paul said that he was a man that was troubled in the sense of going through what he had to go through in his flesh. There's things that he wanted to do, he didn't do, and there's things that he did not want to do, he wound up doing it. So that's what we're going through at this very moment in time. That's why we need to be changed. But that doesn't negate that we have to just forget about doing the right thing. That doesn't give us an excuse to just keep going off because we're in the flesh. We have to continue to fight and to control ourselves and our minds to doing that which is right. And the way that we do that is focus on the right things. Don't focus on the wrong thing. You know? And I mean, you have to balance. Everything is in balanceation, but what you want to do, you want to be more positive than negative.
If I may
Point
add
blank.
to that,
Go on, brother.
if I may, Slacker, that's the fundamentals of spiritual warfare, because it all starts with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got. It's all good and well to be out here and we're prophesying and whatnot. We're rebuking this world.
Yeah.
But it starts at home. When you're in your own private time, like the brother Yerami said yesterday, camp is the worst time to bring out precepts. You need to be bringing these precepts out every second of every day. When you see something that's off, oh, the Bible says this about that. Okay, I know not to deal with that.
Right.
So, and again, the worst thing as well is that it's very hard to, like, it takes skill to look at yourself. You know what I mean? You can look at yourself in the mirror and you say, okay, fair, but do you really know yourself? Are you really examining yourself, the things that you're doing and that you might not be doing, to say, hang on a minute, maybe I'm in the wrong, maybe I'm going off. You need to be doing that. And if you're not, that's the whole reason why we have the body. So other brothers might bring it to your attention.
Yes.
Hey, you know what, bro? Maybe you should focus on this. And if you're getting all cut and hurt when a brother's trying to help you, how can you're not giving anybody anything to work with, man? And you're just going to wax worse and worse in your own way.
Yeah.
So, it's like
No, that's a beautiful point. It's a beautiful point. So that's why man, like you said, we have the body. You know what I mean? Because if you're by yourself, if you're constantly by yourself, right? Because, you know, you got certain brothers that live by themselves. They don't live with nobody. They live by themselves. And sometimes you feel like, well, maybe I need someone to kind of like guide me to a certain degree, because maybe I could be doing something wrong. Because no one's telling you what to do. So you kind of get like that, man. Maybe am I doing this wrong? Could I do this better?
What one?
Go on, brother.
1 Peter 5:6 says, humble yourself therefore under the mighty hand of Yahweh, that he may exalt you in due time.
Yeah.
8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil,
There you go.
as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may
So
devour.
did you read the word say circumspect?
Yeah, be vigilant,
Right, be vigilant.
because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may be devour.
Yeah, so vigilance
Wow.
is what's needed. You need to be vigilant. You need to be circumspect of what's going on around you and what's going on with yourself. And as you said, it is difficult. It does take a skill, but you got to start somewhere. If you do something the first time and you keep failing at it, eventually you're going to want to get it eventually. Okay? So you have to build on that. You have to build on yourself. You have to look at yourself and analyze yourself. None of this bullshit of pointing the finger. Oh, look what he did. Oh, look what this guy's doing. And guys do that because they want to deflect from themselves. Like you always say, RER, right? On how you have certain niggas, they'll call other guys niggas, but they're really the nigga themselves. You see? So it's a deflection thing. They want to get away from themselves, from looking a certain way, because they know they ain't right. So they want to call on the next guy and say, yo, you ain't right. No, nigga, you ain't fucking right.
Trying to avert the spotlight.
Sometimes the elder Apostle Gabar says, he says, how he feels about niggas. He said, I'm going to jump over Esau, I'm going to get niggas. But also he says that some of the biggest niggas come in this truth. I remember he said that some of the biggest niggas are in the truth.
Yeah.
Super niggas, because if you're a nigga in the world, you don't know no precepts, innit?
Yeah.
So when
doing your thing.
so if you're a nigga, this thing goes
Scary,
deep.
man.
Thing goes
It's
deep.
scary, yeah.
I've got a precept, if I may.
Go on.
Proverbs 27:17. Brought this out yesterday as well. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend.
There you go. You can go into that.
As we were saying about examining yourself, I mean, even Michael Jackson did it, man. He's starting with the man in the mirror. We've got to do the same, start in the same place. But if you're not able to do that, which is a skill, it takes experience and maybe life experience to really be able to know who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Another brother might come along and help sharpen you, man. And that's why when, again, like even now, we're talking, bringing up precepts. Ariel's bringing up precepts. I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that precept, that clicks. You bring out a precept. I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. Then I'm bringing it out. You're thinking, oh, I didn't think. We're all building off each other, man.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I may, before I came to this truth, I believed through faith, but I was alone. I didn't even know that there was other brothers who believed the same thing. So I was out there, and it's like, it wasn't easy being just, you're walking around in this wicked world and you know this truth, but you don't know there's anybody else who believes.
Right.
When I found the brothers, I was like, whoa, there's guys who actually believe what I believe.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was an uplifting thing, so I knew to come around and do what I do, and obviously now I'm here. But that's the point. It's like, if you think you can do it all by yourself, then you're kind of silly, because you're telling me at this stage of the game, right, Esau's about to mandate the Maxine. He's going to push his mark. At this late stage of the game, you're telling me Yahushua got it all wrong, and that the camp he's been dealing with predominantly, they're all wrong, and he's now going to change everything up, and he's going to start it again with you?
That don't even make no damn sense. But see, that's a demon again. That's got to be a demon. Like to have that kind of in mind, because what you're really saying is the Most High is a power that changes. It says that the Most High is the power that changes, and also the gospel that we have has no variableness in it. That's in the book of I believe it's in 1 Peter's, man. If you can get me that, brother.
Sure.
There's no variableness in the Most High. So I mean, if that's the mindset you got, then that's a demon that's infiltrated your mind to have that in your head, to put that in your head. See, this is what I'm saying, man. See, when you get into this truth, it's not just a thing where it's like, oh, it's just him doing it. No, the demons are doing it.
Yep.
Yeah. Because demon just means intelligence.
Intelligence, yeah.
Yeah, and some of these, you mentioned the previous ones when I was in the other camp. I was what's the word? I was awestruck with the intelligence the guy had, man. I'll be honest, I was really like, I couldn't be, because I come out of Christian church and no one could flex them scriptures like that guy.
Yeah.
You know, in the Christian church, I said, what? And I even said, how you do that, man? So, and then he turned out to be a nigger, a super nigger. Fuck, you know.
And I'm even go as far as saying this too, even the Holy Spirit is a demon.
Ooh.
But it's a righteous demon.
Yeah, the left hand side.
On the right hand side, yeah.
You call for a precept in Peter. What was it, Baba Kasha?
Now, you know where it says there's no variableness
That's
in it?
heavy.
I'll just find that.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
No, it's true. It's true.
No variableness in the Most High, gotcha.
But you know what you could do? Get the scripture that I was quoting before.
Which was that one?
You know where the Most High's out of power that he should change. You
Okay.
can get that first, and then
Well, I've just found the one you called for before, so I'll just bring this now.
Okay.
This is actually James.
Oh, it's James 1.
James 1:17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights,
Right.
with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning.
So the Most High, he's not going to turn away from what he originally put out there, and what he put out there is his words and as well as his church. He's not going to change that. All right, the Most High's are the power that he should not change.
When there's that full stop, nobody can take that full stop away and add
pull
to
it
it.
back.
You know what I mean?
And it also says in the book of Ecclesiastes 3 verse 14, for whatever the Most High doeth, he doeth forever, and no one can put onto it or add onto it,
Debbie.
or take away from it.
Wow.
So whatever the Lord puts out there of who he is, that's going to remain.
No, impossible.
So there's no changing. So if you think in your own mind that hey, the Lord was dealing with, like you said, brother, the Lord was dealing with this church for a good duration of time. Now he's going to withdraw the church. You're fucking insane, man. You're insane. All right. And then all of a sudden, the Lord, he just chose you to be the special, one and only vessel above everybody else, and he ain't fucking with these guys anymore. Come on, man. That's a demon.
It's madness.
That's a left-hand side demon. Absolutely.
It's like you called for another one. What was it?
No, read that again, actually. Read that one more time. Huh?
Right, so this is James 1:17. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither a shadow of turning.
So there's no variableness and there's no shadow of turning. I'm laughing because this is just hilarious a bit. To think if that's in a man's heart, that dude's got a demon on him. That's literally taking over his body.
So that one dude now is going to go out and start his own thing, and he's going to gather together all the elect. That's delusions of grandeur, man. You don't really understand.
It sure is.
And this is why it's good to know, if I may say, it's good to know the history of this thing if you're in this thing. Like, for example, I mentioned before, I was doing some research on Elder Abba Bivens and how it was passed down to King Marshal, Elder High Priest Yaquab, and so on and so forth. We're continuing, like, we didn't start this thing, man. We're continuing in what our elders taught, and we're just following on in the work. It's not about coming in and thinking, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to remix this, I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to get exalted. All them guys who try and lift up themselves and puff themselves up, where are they? They all end up the same way. They all end up the same way because, like the elders said, they weren't really of this thing, man.
But you know where they went ultimately? They went into the abyss.
Yep.
That's where they went.
To the dark side of the force.